The Marrons stands for freedom fighting. So the cultural background of the Marron is using things from the earth to build the soil on the earth. And within this farming community, most persons are used to the traditional farming. So the greenhouse is just a modern part of the traditional way of farming. So the mission behind the greenhouse project is to have sustainable farming within our space. Hence, we choose the schools within the geographical space. Before, 1 or 2 kids want to be a farmer. 1 or 2 kids want to get their hands in the soil. Now, persons are excited when they hear that we're going to the greenhouse. I take this opportunity to educate them more about greenhouse. That greenhouse is not just by a school, you can also put a greenhouse at home. Because that is the really ultimate goal for persons can do greenhouse at home, not just in a commercial space. So the kids are really taking onto it. Traditional farming, you have slash and burn. There is no slash and burn at the greenhouse. Traditional farming, you have pesticide. There is no pesticide at the greenhouse. So the environment is getting preservation, whilst persons getting more knowledge, and now more persons are eating healthy. It ties into the school feeding program where a person is eating, for example, a sweet pepper that they know that they participate in growing this sweet pepper. The sweet pepper was grown next to my school. If we can educate the younger ones, years to come, decades to come, persons will be now knowledgeable about the environment and the preservation.
We are currently funding projects that look at sustainable farming practices, assisting with the reduction in sedimentation because of traditional slash and burn practices, introducing community to greenhouse technology and women and youth so everyone is involved and it's not just seen for men. There is a huge funding gap for effective protected areas management. And as a part of that, the Trust Fund plays an integral role in using its resources to co-finance with international partners, which is a major requirement of a lot of donors. The Conservation Trust Fund has made huge impact on the ground. We have funded over 26 projects through the support of the CBF and other partners. We are supporting the transition to sustainable practices, and we see it very important in safeguarding biodiversity and building climate resilience for Jamaica, for people and their livelihoods.
Coral reefs are one of the most important ecosystems that you can find in the ocean. Watching the environment and the corals and the fish degrade year over year over year. Now I'm in the position to start this project through the NCTFJ to operate the Port Royal Keys Coral Restoration Project. It allowed us to restock our coral nurseries with 500 coral fragments and 1,000 coral microfragments, plant those corals back onto the reef, and also sink a derelict vessel out at one of our outplant sites to create an artificial reef. These corals were selected during the coral bleaching event of 2023 for their resistance to the heat that was occurring at that time. And so we're able to pick and choose the most ecologically responsible sets of corals. So we've been able to choose many different genotypes so that we're increasing the biodiversity of the species of coral that are within the space. To date, we've planted over 700 fragments of coral to 4 different outplant sites throughout the Port Royal Keys, and we have a 85% survivability rate so far, and none of the corals that we've planted have shown signs of stress or predation.
It's important that we have opportunities such as the NCTFJ mechanism to offer support in a sustainable way to these protected areas.
A big component of the project looks at raising the awareness at a national level for people to understand the importance of restoration, safeguarding these habitats, and how it translates and make that connection to life and livelihoods, because there is constantly a disconnect between nature and livelihoods and how they sustain a thriving economy.